Why, hello everybody. How you doing today? Today, I wanted to go over a little bit of an interesting topic I have here. When I first started metal detecting, I didn't really know what to expect. You know how it all starts out, right? We get our metal detector, we swing over a target, it beeps, and we dig it up. But very shortly after that, I think we start to mentally discriminate out, say, we dig up 5 pieces of aluminum foil at a number, I don't know, a low number like 5, 6, 7, or 8. And then in our minds, it kind of tells us, well, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's probably going to be trash, or that's trash. And I think as soon as you have that mentality where you're stuck, where you say this set of numbers for sure or this set of tones is trash, that's when you're going to start missing a lot of stuff. So in this little episode here, I wanted to go over, I have a bunch of different gold objects here, different sizes, shapes, and carats. Here's a nice chunky gold ring here. I've tested these before, but this video kind of goes out to any of you guys who are newer to the hobby, or maybe if you haven't been digging a lot of gold, maybe, just maybe, this video can help you reconsider the targets that you're actually deciding to dig. And with metal detecting, a lot of the times it just comes down to you have to get down and dirty and dig a lot of holes to find good stuff. There is no magic set of numbers for gold, in my opinion and experience, and that is why I wanted to make this short video. So we have the Equinox 600, we got the Nokta Simplex over here, little SP24 coil on them, and we have the Vanquish just for fun. The Vanquish and the Equinox are basically going to read up the same VDI, but let's get right into this. Let's fire these machines up. I'm going to just be doing a little bit of VDI testing, general VDI testing. I'm not going to be burying anything. So I think, as you guys know also, once you get into the hobby, you know that say this is buried flat in the hole like this, it will actually read up different than if it's in the hole like this. So don't take this and say, okay, now that I saw that this reads up this number, I'm going to only dig those. This video is to show you just how wide the spectrum can be. So let me get started here, shall we? Let's start with the chunky one, huh? You ready for it? Put it right there flat on the ground, right on the surface. See what it reads up on the Vanquish. I want to give you guys a clear idea here of what it actually reads up on the VDI. So here's our first gold ring. This one is a 10 karat gold ring. So can you see that VDI there? If you guys have been metal detecting, I'm sure a lot of you have an item in mind when you swing over a set of those numbers. What is that item? To me, that's pull tab numbers, but because of the shape of this ring, it is not going to sound, it's not going to give you a clear, consistent tone, you know, a 1 VDI tone. So it's not going to be a solid 13 or a solid 14. Because of the shape, it can read just about anywhere, you know. So if this was a higher carat, it would probably sound a little bit different. Or if it was chunkier gold, it would sound a little bit different. It would read a little higher or a little lower. So when I first got into detecting, I was trying to figure out what that magic number was, you know, what number does gold read up as, because that's what I wanted to find out there. So this is marked 750, and this I found out in a field where it looked, it's a desolate field that, like, you would think no one really goes out to. But for me, metal detecting also is about keeping an open mind and not always heading directly into the action, but use your brain a little bit. That open field ended up being an old soccer field, actually, so it makes sense why this was out there. Anything can be anywhere, but there is a little bit of thought that you should put into the hobby, you know, to give yourself the best chance at success. So let's see this. But that also comes down to it. Say I wanted a metal detect in the tot lot, right? So this is 18 karat gold, bangle bracelet, 18 karat gold, solid 12. Right in there in the nickel range. I think a lot of us, when I first got started, that's what I was digging the most of, is nickels. 13 on the VDI, both on the Vanquish and the Equinox. But I have dug hundreds and hundreds of nickels, but have yet to pull gold at the number 13. So keep that in mind, you know. This one's just below it. So if I had the mindset that gold is 13, that's a 12, I wouldn't dig that. I mean, maybe not exactly, but for the most part, I think you get what I'm going for here. But there's some very extreme cases of that. So say, it just depends what you want to find though. These two little things right here, look at those. Those things are tiny, but these are both gold. And I was out and I was digging signals. One of these I found at the beach with the Vanquish, and one of them I found in a tot lot. And I had an open mind, and that is why I found these. It's not because the exact spot I was hunting. It wasn't because of pure luck. Because if you're going off of pure luck, if you're not digging any low signals, luck really ain't gonna strike for you, you know. Gold, in a lot of cases, it can read high, it can read like a penny or higher, and that's maybe when luck would strike. But sometimes you just gotta put in the effort. It's not luck if you dig 1,000 holes, you know. It's persistence at that point. So let me show you this little one here. Look at that VDI on that little piece of gold there. 3-4. 3-4. So there's the little I love you there. We'll probably bring out the simplex here too. I don't want to get this one too long, but here's a little half of a heart best friend charm, marked 14 karat right on the back. See what he reads up. I'm running the Vanquish in jewelry mode, but it doesn't matter too much. And I'm also out of battery. I'm almost out of battery on the Vanquish, but that doesn't affect my VDI readings. These are all exactly the same. So check that one out. Because of the shape, it's going 2-3-4, staying right there at 2-3. So this thing is actually like nearly too small to even see on the surface. So, you know, something like this falls off your neck on a little tiny chain, you ain't gonna be able to find it. So this one, I did not actually find this. My girlfriend found this on the surface on concrete at work. So let that go to show you, you don't even necessarily need a metal detector to find good stuff. You just got to be looking, you got to be out there, and you know, you got to be able to spot the unusual. So realistically, this super thin chain will barely even read up on most of my detectors, but I would, you know, I'd do a test if you guys are interested in seeing it. So the pendant is going to be what's ringing up here, and that's a 10 karat heart pendant. Check that VDI out. That's a 7. So for me, it's like, is there a common set of gold numbers? That's what I've been kind of trying to figure out. Where does gold fall the most often? You know, is there a set range where you'll most likely find gold? Is kind of where I want to be. But even so, like I just said, the spectrum varies so widely. I don't want to close my mind and say, well, it's very likely going to be in these numbers. Then that kind of, it pushes me away from the other set of numbers, you know, which could be silver, could be a relic, it could be just a different odd shaped piece of gold or a really thick piece of gold. So here's another little 10 karat ring. This one has a little tiny diamond chip right in the middle. So for me, on the Vanquish so far, Vanquish and Equinox, I think my most common gold have actually been like 7-8. I found actually quite a few rings, including these two right here. Check these babies out. These are 14 karat gold with real diamond chips in them. Put these guys down. Put both of them down, just for the fun of it, right? Look at that. Another one. That one's also reading a 7. And of course, that one's gonna be exactly the same. So basically, you know, I just really wanted to do this video to remind you guys to kind of keep an open mind when you're out there hunting, you know. I know there's always a lot to learn, and we want to get familiar with our machines and familiar with the numbers that gold can read, but you know, keep that in mind. Here's another interesting one. I think a lot of us think that silver always reads up high, right? When you think silver, you think of a nice high tone, 25, 30, 35, but check this little guy out, and I found multiple things like this. This is silver, 925, little pendant. Look at there. That's about zinker right there, isn't it? I think most of the time we walk over that and our mind thinks, it's a zinc penny, right? So would you have dug that? If you notch out the zinc pennies or you're not digging the zinc pennies, you know, you're definitely missing stuff. Here's another good example right here. I thought this was fake when I first found it. It's marked 10 carat in the middle, but check out what this reads up. 10 carat. Look at that. 2122. I've never had a gold read that high before, but I tested it with acid, both 10 karat and 14 karat acid. The 10 karat held and the 14 karat completely disappeared. So this is just a chunker, man. It's heavy. So the stones in it are not real, but it is real gold. So we got 2 more here that I'm going to test, and then maybe we'll swing over the Simplex over a couple of these. This one's probably already long. Check this baby out. This is probably one of my best finds. Put him on the ground, and this surprised me a lot, actually. I found that thing with the Simplex, and it was bouncing like in the 20s up to the 30s, but check out what it reads up on the Vanquish and the Equinox. You ready for this? You probably ain't digging these. You digging those? That's like honestly a surprise to me. Let me bring out the Simplex real quick to show you guys what I'm talking about. Just for a quick minute. I know this one's getting long already. I think we'll pass on the Equinox, considering the Vanquish and the Equinox VDI are basically right about the same. Bring out the old Simplex real quick. I'll try it in field mode, or we'll go to Park 1. I think that's probably the most common mode people use out there. I use it all. I like Park 1, Park 2, field mode. Look at this. On the old Simplex. You guys use the Simplex out there? What does that sound like to you? 17, 18. Sound like a piece of foil if I've ever heard one, huh? But this right here, like I said, this has got to be still one of my best and favorite finds. It's marked 14 karat, tested 14 karat, and real diamond chips in that baby. Reading a 1 kind of gives me an empty pit in my stomach knowing the amount of 1s out there, man. But you know, I'm not saying go out there and dig every single 1 signal, but keep an open mind as to what can actually be under the ground. Don't always walk over it and think just another piece of foil, because I'm telling you, you could be mistaken, man. Dig up a couple of those at least and see what you're working with. So let me try another little tiny one here. This is the I Love You. I think this one is 10K. Now this one's 14K as well. It's marked 14K LA. Found that baby in a tot lot. I was reading up a 4 on the Vanquish, 3-4. Check it out on the Simplex. Again, your small gold on the Simplex, man, is gonna read right there like a piece of aluminum foil. So, like I said, the moral of the story here, basically what I'm trying to get across to you is just keep an open mind out there, you know? Just don't always think it's a pull tab, because let's see what this one reads up on the Simplex. Probably gonna sound just like a tabber, huh? Get you real close to the VDI. That one sounds pretty good, actually. From this angle, at least. But look at, it's bouncing. It's bouncing a lot, actually. 43, it went up to like the 60s. 39, I saw a 70 in there. Let's try it in field mode. Ooh, that's a squeaker. That's kind of why sometimes I like field mode on the Simplex as well, is because it wakes us up to those mid-conductive targets a lot of the times. It'll basically give you a high tone on just about anything you swing over. So for me, when I'm looking for gold, that's I kind of want that, you know? I want to be awakened by whatever's under the ground. Even if it's a piece of foil, it could be gold, you know? So hey, if you guys want to see some more like this, if you want to see anything specific, leave me a comment down below, man. I hope this at least kind of opened your mind up a little bit, you know, that not all 20s are going to be pennies, not all 14s are going to be pull tabs, not all 1s are going to be pieces of scrap foil. You just never truly know what's under the ground, you know, and if you're not digging those signals, then you're missing a lot of stuff, bottom line. So if you have not been digging much gold, I mean, gold doesn't come easy. You got to put in the work, and sometimes it's just not out there. But a lot of the times, I think gold is actually probably more commonly out there than silver. And I say that because a lot of people with metal detectors, they only go for those high tones. They only want the silver. It's just something about the high tone and the high number on our machines that we kind of equate that more with treasure than the low numbers, and I don't think that should be the case, because those low numbers can really produce. So bottom line is, hey, keep an open mind out there, everybody. You just never know what's going to be hiding under the ground. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.